can't. I was gonna say the lines, but I couldn't do it. I was laughing too hard.
That's right. There's something in my throat.
Yeah.
There. Got it.
Kill her, mommy. Yeah.
Sandra, is that you? Sandra?
It's not me. It's Pamela.
It's
Neil,
Pamela.
look out behind you.
There's a very small Jason.
Very shrunken. Hey there. Welcome to the Gold Show. We're live. It's Friday the 13th. Woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
In case you didn't guess, we might be doing a Friday the 13th movie ranking tonight.
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. We're going to do one of those live rankings yet again. 10.
Yes.
10 films in this franchise. Technically, we could do 11.
I think you could even go 12 if you wanted, right? If you counted Freddy and the new Friday.
Yes.
Oh, the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but we're not.
Yeah,
So.
we're not. We had to draw a fucking line in
And
the
there's-
sand, people.
Exactly. That we all got together and we drew that line very vehemently in the sand.
We
We're
have
like, no.
standards at the cult show.
Although I actually like Freddy versus Jason, but
I love Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
I love
Anything-
that movie.
anything that
Yeah.
gets Robert Englund. Yeah.
Exactly. It's all
We're
because it's
happy.
all about Robert Englund. That's it.
It is. No, it
Yeah.
is. It is. No question. Anyway,
Yeah.
welcome everyone. It's Friday night. Most of us are excited to be here to do our Friday the 13th count.
If you're here,
countdown.
then you must be at least
So-
intrigued, maybe
Intrigued, yes.
morbidly curious. I don't know.
Maybe. So anyone who liked the opening with our ha-ha thing, please feel free to record that and use that as your ringtone.
Oh my
We
God!
give you
Is this
permission.
Free of
2008?
charge.
2008. Use this as your ringtone.
Is that our ringtone's out now too? I don't even know that. Am I behind? Is that not
Everybody
even a
keeps
thing
their
anymore?
phone like on silent. Yeah, it's fine. It's
Oh.
fine.
All right. All right. All right. Hey Sandra, are you drinking anything fun tonight?
I'm having a Lagunitas hop water, a hoppy refresher.
Wonderful.
They should like fucking sponsor
I-
us because I'm always drinking this hop water.
I know. And they're local. We should really reach out to them.
Hit me up to send me some hoppy refresher.
Anything. Caleb, what do you got? What'd you do? You did something special. I know you did.
I didn't. I really
Oh.
didn't. I've got a chocolate stout, and I will follow that up by a watermelon ale.
Oh,
Another beer.
okay.
So I'm just
Oh.
beer.
All about
beer.
that beer life.
All about that beer. It's like I'm camping at Crystal Lake or something.
I was gonna
you know?
say beer, pot, and premarital sex.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
Caleb.
I'll yeah.
Yes, please.
You know what? 2 out of 3. I'd be fine with.
Too funny. All right. So I did the bourbon and I did the ginger and then I added some grenadine to make it red. You can't really tell on the camera, but there's some red in there.
It's rating peach.
Yeah,
I
but
was gonna say it
Which
looks
is
like iced tea.
it is. I
It's like
lied.
a peach. It's
I-
a peach iced tea.
I've
I
never,
like it.
I have never put a bourbon past these lips.
It's
So-
a Snapple. It's a
Snapple.
Snapple.
It's a half and half Snapple.
I know.
But anyway, Sandra, what we talked about it briefly, but real quick, let everyone know what we're doing.
So we've done one of these little live rankings before, and basically we did it before with Quentin Tarantino films, and this is our first time ranking a whole franchise, and what a hefty franchise it is. Like we said, we cut it at 10 films. We're going to discuss them a little bit, pros and cons, and then kind of weight them onto our list.
There you go. So you know what? Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, people. Happy Friday the 13th.
13th.
Oh, jinx. Hoppy
We're back.
and refreshing.
All right. So hey, joining us tonight, we have the Gore girls. Mindy and Laura are with us.
I see them. Hi.
They're there. We've got Mark from Pismo. Welcome, my friend.
Hello.
Hungry boy, all the way, as we discovered, from Australia. I'm not gonna get into that accent again because I
Don't
can't
do
do
it.
it.
Don't do it.
Won't do it. Would not be prudent.
Would not be prudent.
Macy's in the house. Hello, Macy.
Hi, my friend Macy.
We got a Mage Bot R who says Happy Friday the 13th.
Well,
Hello,
hello.
Mage. Thanks for being around.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mage.
Let's see, I'm cruising. Doc Pretorius is back in. Hey, Doc. If you guys remember, Doc is one of our loyals at the Cult Film Show or Cult Film Series. I can't even keep remembering track who they are. Mark Vision's Truth with us as well.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, that is it for now. Cool. All right.
For now.
For now.
For now.
So, what have you guys been up to this week? Aside from watching 1,000 movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is honestly, I've not had time for anything else. This is literally it. And then of course I'm always reading something for Genre Junkies, but this is literally it.
Literally. Okay.
That's it? Wow.
That's it.
All right. I finished Haunting of Bly Manor.
Cool.
It was
No
okay.
spoilers.
No spoilers. It was all right. I was a little disappointed, to be honest, but and then I finished reading You Only Live Twice.
That's right. You're reading that.
much different than the movie. And then I started reading Anne Rice's Memnoch the Devil. So I've read it before, but it was such a long time ago that I barely remember it. So.
You read Stephen King and now you're reading Anne Rice. I love you so much, Caleb.
Those are like two of my staples.
I know, but they're two of my staples. Well, it just brings me joy.
All right. Well, I'm glad I could spook you joy, as you say.
It's spooked.
Rob has checked in, by the way. Rob is now with us in the chat as well.
Hello, Rob.
Welcome
Hello,
back,
Rob.
my friend. Good to have you. You know what, Sandra? I'm kind of in your boat. I don't think I did anything else other than just rewatching all these films.
Yeah.
So I could familiarize.
It takes a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's no question.
There's a lot. There's a lot of goddamn movies.
And then, of course, in the meantime, we're also like, doing usual date life in between. Yeah. So,
yes.
If you guys, can I take a quick editorial moment real quick to discuss the Savior Cinema program that we have mentioned in the past?
Please.
If you don't mind, just real quick, wanted to remind everyone out there who may be watching, listening, that movie theaters are still in desperate need of assistance from everyone, from the government, not from everyone who wants to go to a movie that's open, please do so. But the government is still kicking around some kind of package that they may or may not approve at some point, God knows when. But we're going into the lame duck session, basically, for Congress now. There is a bill, or not a bill, I guess, one of those stimulus packages called Save Our Stages that was started by live venues that very graciously allowed movie theaters to tack onto that. So that legislation is now in front of Congress, and we're hoping to get that approved. The sooner the better, because like the live venues, the movie theaters are still suffocating, basically, with not having any product, and of course occupancy issues. And in California, we're getting rolled back, so a lot of them are having to close again. The ones that Caleb and I work for, we're pretty much, we have 4 open right now, and most likely they're all going to be closed within a week or two, based on what's happening. So anyway, you can go to saveyourcinema.com, and there's a brand new form that you can just type your name and hit send and your address, and it'll pre-fill it all for you. But it's got that whole Save Your Stages legislation in there, so it'll kick it out to all of the Congress folk that are in your territory automatically. It's really easy, really quick. So if you all could do that, it means a lot to help out.
That website one more time.
SaveYourCinema.com.
I'll be doing that as soon as I'm done here.
Thank you. I appreciate the microphone. Thank you.
And so shall we all. Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Like, what the hell are you even doing? You like movies? You like people having jobs? Sign the goddamn thing. Like, come on, let's get on it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that folks who are listening or watching are probably fans of film, and they probably grew up going to movie theaters. So hopefully, this is the right crowd to preach to, or not preach is the wrong word, to beg from. I beg. Anyway, uh, okay, well, this is it then. We're up for Sandra's favorite part of the show, and you guys, Sandra's really pissed off at me right now, so she's really gonna dislike this segment even more. So just so you guys know,
So for
this is
those
gonna
of
be
you
good.
who are watching listening via podcast, I'm flipping Neil off. Um,
The whole time she's been doing it the whole time.
well, now two fingers.
Now too.
No, I love this segment. It just is really funny because a lot of the times it's the most random
Yes,
stuff or people that have died.
or that
So
too.
it's just kind of a funny little segment, but I
Just kind
I
of like
always
me.
learn I always learn something new.
I'm a funny little man, so I have
And
to do a
I
funny little
sleep
segment.
better at night when I learn new facts for trivia. So
Awesome. All right, so that brings in this week in entertainment history. I love you,
hear
Sandra.
the music.
She won't even say she loves me back anymore. She's doing
I
it.
won't. I am mad at you.
All right. As we all know, of course, November 8th, Alex Trebek, our good friend Alex Trebek, passed away.
Sucks.
Yes. So we just want to, throw him a little love because I think most of us probably grew up, if not watching Jeopardy every day, at least you knew of it. And, it was a like Wheel of Fortune that was always there in your life. It was a constant.
Alex Trebek was on the Golden Girls one time.
Was he? Okay.
Talk about a random fact. There's your first random fact of the day.
It's important to me. Golden Girls are important to me.
They are, yeah.
It's like my favorite show.
Let's see. On November 10th, 1969, the premiere of Sesame Street.
Dang.
I like Muppets.
That's how Sesame Street's amazing.
Yes.
Their Twitter is fucking fire. Like, seriously, they have such a good sense of humor.
Really? I didn't know they had a Twitter.
My brain's got Twitter.
Okay. This to me was very interesting. I'm sure you guys probably knew this already, but I didn't. November 10th, in 1940, Walt Disney began serving as an informer for the Los Angeles office of the FBI. You guys know what his job was? Because I didn't know this. He was reporting information on Hollywood subversives. So basically, he was out there. Yeah, he was out there reporting on what communism and any other things out there at the time. So I didn't know that.
To be fair, there was a lot of folks that did that.
He's not the only one for sure.
All over the country. Yeah. It's very fascinating. Very, very fascinating subject.
It is. I did a little research once I actually saw that and kind of to try and read more about that. And it does. It spiders and it gets very deep.
Yeah.
So that's almost worth a whole show.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Okay. On November 12th, which was yesterday, right? Yeah. In 1910, the first recorded movie stunt was captured on film. And it was basically a man jumping into the Hudson River from an air balloon. By a hot air balloon.
Did he die?
Yeah. I didn't say if he died or not, but he did it. So and it was captured on film.
And it was recorded. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
On November 12th, 1982, Creep Show premiered. Film called 12th. Creep Show.
Wait a minute. Does that mean it's not a Halloween film then?
Well, but did Halloween 3 come out on Halloween? Or in October? I don't know. I have no idea.
Usually, if it's a Halloween movie, it comes out before Halloween. I don't know. That makes me think Creep Show is more like a post-election, pre-Thanksgiving film.
Okay. Let's talk that one out.
Maybe the pumpkin was left over from Halloween.
Yeah, they hadn't thrown it out yet, I think, because, yeah.
Keeping on the Walt Disney bandwagon, also 1940, but on November 13th, which is today, November 13th, Fantasia in 1940 was released.
I adore Fantasia. It's one of my favorites.
Okay. Finally, Today in 1935, Tom Atkins was born. The wonderful Tom Atkins.
Thank God.
Do you think he
Yes.
came out of the womb with a stash?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yep. A stash, a trench coat, maybe a
A
cigarette.
cigarette.
Cigarette, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a cigarette.
All right. That's it. That's all I got for this week. And
Good job,
entertainment history.
Neil. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good game.
You're
Good
welcome.
game.
Thank you. And then finally, new subscriber alert. We have one, a Jeff P636. Jeff
Hi.
P636. Hello, Jeff.
Hello.
I thought you were about to give us his phone number or something.
I know, seriously.
Okay, Sandra,
Is it time?
take it.
Okay. Ooh, all right, people. Get ready. Here it comes. Hold on, I gotta get my notes ready. All right. It is time for the main event ranking 10 Friday the 13th films. Ooh, cue the Friday the 13th fanfare.
Yay.
Yay. Yay.
Ha ha ha.
Okay, so we'll kind of describe this a little bit as we go for those who are not familiar. You'll pick it up. You'll pick it up. You'll pick it up pretty fast. So we've got to start with, of course, the original Friday the 13th from 1980, directed by Sean Cunningham. Do I have to read out who all these people are, Neil, or no?
No?
In the
No.
notes? No.
I put it there in case you guys needed some help or wanted to.
Okay, perfect. Part 1, Friday the 13th. A group of teens show up to reopen an abandoned summer camp at Camp Crystal Lake as the new camp counselors, of course. One by one, they are killed off by an unseen killer. Spoiler alert, it's Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh, man.
Rotted
Damn.
Jason
Wow.
jumps out of the lake at the end. It's a very good movie, I think. If I do say so myself. I think this is a fun movie. I think it's got a cool kind of whodunit mystery vibe to it. It's got some fun kills and some fun gore. I love the camp setting. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why this movie was a huge hit to spawn all of these. And I think it was because this is just a solid classic slasher. Even though, Freddy's my dude, Jason's just not my dude. It's fine. But I like Mrs. Voorhees. I always thought that was super cool.
I agree. I always thought it was really cool as well. And it's funny how many people use that as some kind of trivia thing, like, like
Who's
who
the
was
killer?
the killer in the Friday the 13th, and it's kind of funny how, a lot of people, I don't know. I think everyone knows that now, but it gets used a lot. And
Yeah.
stuff, but because it was really cool, especially for the time, probably. They tried to fool you.
Yeah. And it's like kind of a psychological thing. She's all creepy, talking in the Jason voice at the end.
Yes.
Who doesn't like
Agreed.
that?
Yeah,
And
no,
it's, those camp counselors, they were too busy with their sex and their drugs and their rock and roll, and they didn't save Jason.
nope. So it's 23 years later. He right, because he died in 57, I think. That's when all this happened.
Then I
think it's 23 years later that this takes place. So
right.
you got to figure. I mean, Jason at that point, then he's like, that makes him. I mean, how old was he when he drowned? 8, 10,
something like that. 8, maybe 10. At the
so he's
oldest.
a lot older than I think he looks like when he pops out of the lake at the end.
He looks small, like the Jason behind you, like a child,
He is yeah. I kind of figure he is. I never thought about that until just now. It kind of occurred to me for some reason. I don't know why, but
let's put it mildly, there's some plot holes in these films. But
What?
I always liked this ending because it kind of was a little supernatural, right? Like maybe, I don't know, this whole thing happening with his mom, it kind of reawakened the school. I liked the not knowing and not explaining it when I saw it the first time.
Got it.
Caleb? Nothing.
Yeah, Tom Savini.
Literally nothing.
Tom Savini, yay. What were some of my notes?
Please.
The arrow in the neck with
Yeah,
what was that, Kevin Bacon,
Kevin
or like,
Bacon. Yeah.
comes out. That's great. The axe to the head I thought was pretty cool.
Love that.
Um, I wanted to point out this movie had a budget of $550,000 and it ended up grossing $39.7 million. That
It's
is
a
a
lot.
hell of an investment.
Yeah, it was a huge commercial success. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So
Well, there you have it. I would rank this movie very high. I think it's
okay,
I think it's very good, and it's also our first one.
it's our first one. Let's put it number one.
Let's do that.
Producer Scott, thank you.
Done.
All right, moving right along. Moving right along. We have Friday the 13th Part Two. Came out in 1981. Set 5 years after the first film, a fresh batch of young people show up at Crystal Lake to train as counselors and are murdered off once again. This time, the killer is the beloved, treasured, and adored Sackhead Jason. Yeah, you can tell I didn't write this. We are also introduced to the Pamela Voorhees altar featuring her decapitated head, which I've always been a fan of. Um, it's no secret if you've watched this show before, I am a Sackhead Jason apologist. I love Sackhead Jason. I think he's rustic and weird and creepy, perfect for this kind of literally campy, out in the woods thing. I adore this film. I might like it more than the first one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Uh,
Heard it here first.
got it. So part two was directed by Steve Miner,
Oh
who
yes.
was he was second unit on the first film, um, assistant director, and then he directed part two. And he ended up going. He actually goes on to part three as well, and some other great horror films, such as House, the '85 film House. But
Yep.
you know, I am not as much in love with this film as Sandra may be, and so I know this is gonna be yet one more, whatever notch in her bedpost to take me out someday. So I know I'm tempting fate. I apologize, but
I have said before, I believe that Sackhead Jason and I, well, first of all, he's gaining in popularity. He gains
he is.
every year. He gets more and more popular. He's got figures. He's got the whole thing. This will one day be my Halloween 3 moment where I was like, yeah, I told y'all Sackhead Jason, and suddenly everyone's like, I love Sackhead Jason, and I'll be like, yes, I
Yep,
done told you back in 2020 about Sackhead Jason.
absolutely. We will agree that you were an early adopter.
So am I the only one that would rank this higher?
Yes, I liked one better. Honestly, I'm surprised that two made our 31 Halloween.
I'm not. Mm-mm. Flex. Flex.
So no, I definitely liked one more than two. So
I would probably agree with that. I have to say, I think.
It's okay. Most innovators are usually alone for a while until
It's
the rest
true.
of the
no,
world
this is
catches
true.
up with
This
them.
is true. No, you are
Mm.
absolutely right there, and that is why we love you. That's why you're here. Is because we need the innovation. Neil and I are old and stupid, and you are
So
young
old.
and an
So,
innovator, and
so
we
old, you
we need you.
guys.
We need you.
Like Crypt Keeper old. Um, Part 3. Things are going to start getting a little interesting now. Now we're cooking with fire here. Part 3, 1982. This is again Steve Miner for those keeping track at home. The first time Jason wears the hockey mask, in case you don't remember part 3. This is a 3D movie, and my God, is it not subtle about that at all? Everything that can be poised at the camera will be done. Teenager Chris Higgins and her friends go to her old home on Crystal Lake for a party weekend, and Jason kills them.
Wait, what? Surprise
Yeah,
ending.
yeah. It's through the whole film. Kills him through the whole movie. Okay, I have some thoughts. I'm gonna
Okay.
let y'all go first, and I will conclude.
Kayla, go ahead. Do you have any thoughts?
uh, so the movie starts out, we get a flashback of what happened in like 1 and 2, I think. And then the music kicks in and it's
Yes.
very disco. No, it's
Funky,
like,
baby. It's funky.
super disco. I mean, I was just like, yeah.
You're back at the discotheque.
And although I did not watch it in 3D, I guess it was available in 3D at one point.
It was definitely 3D.
So, yeah. And so you could totally see the scenes where they were like trying to force,
Yeah.
that 3D perspective on you. I thought the bikers and the bar was absolutely stupid. When they're like, shh, be quiet. And then the girl's like, yeah, swinging on the rope outside. And you're like, if you're trying to be quiet, why are you swinging on the rope?
Those are fighting words, my friend, but go on.
Then we're going to fight because that was stupid.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that.
The Fangoria magazine with I think it was Tom Savini's article in it or something. That was a nice little touch. I thought that was kind
nice
of cool.
little touch. Nice little touch.
The 3D eyeball that like pops out.
Like that eyeball.
Because of Blu-ray, you could still see the string that it was attached to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about the what's the thing he shoots at the girl's eye? The harpoon or whatever the hell it is.
Oh yeah.
There's a heck of string on that one. Where,
Yeah.
But what I like is like he's on the dock and then there's a post coming up and he gets in front of the post and puts the gun like right in front of the post so that when it shoots out, it's got that string attached from the post to the camera so it can shoot across.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you putting that in front of the post? That doesn't make any sense. But
right, and then you're like, oh,
yeah, oh, you have to. But yeah, go ahead, Sandra. Sorry.
Okay, so this film was about the wrong people. This theme will reiterate again later in the series. Mark my words. But this film was about the wrong people. This film should have been about the super cool yet small but mighty motorcycle gang of Fox, Ali, and Loco. I fucking love these three. I wanted the whole movie to be about them. They look sickening. They're funny and they're like badass. And I fucking loved them. Very, very disappointing that they were not the stars of this film. Would have been a much more interesting film. Also, I was incredibly disgusted by something that maybe a lot of people wouldn't notice. I don't know, maybe people that are kind of on my same wavelength or age would. The fucking character of Shelley. Oh my god, this incel piece of trash. So his date, Vera, doesn't want to go out with him. They were set up like a blind date on this camping thing. She very nicely and politely tells him, I'm not interested, like lets him down very frankly and easily. She says, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to come back in and we can talk about this. And she goes out and he's like, bitch. And it's like, oh my God, my blood was boiling. My blood pressure shot through the roof. I was like, that's exactly the fucking problem, Shelley. You are like an insolent man-child who plays weird pranks on people that are not cool. Why would she want to date you, sir? Like, she's not a bitch. She's being nice and honest. And oh my God, I was so mad because it's like clearly Shelley's supposed to be, oh, he's kind of dumb, but he's sweet. And it's like, no, maybe if you're always the guy saying, why don't girls like nice guys? You're not a nice guy. Shelley, not a nice guy. Mic drop.
I would agree with that. He was an idiot.
Yes.
For sure.
Idiot.
Anyone that goes around trying to scare people for attention, there's a bigger problem to be looked at. So
And his pranks were weird. They were awkward. They were super awkward. Yeah, I don't know. Why wasn't the motorcycle gang the star of this movie? Missed opportunity.
So Sandra, you've got the chat split. There's several that agree with you, or there's one that agrees with you that the bikers were the most interesting,
This is not a Franklin moment, kids.
and then there's several others, mostly others that agree that say nah, the bikers don't work. So yes, hungry
I'm not
Mark,
gonna say the bike.
Todd,
See,
but
the bikers are random, but if the movie was just about the bikers, it would be so cool.
it would. I hear you. I hear you. Um, God, I am so torn on part three. I got to be honest with you because there's things about it that I like, and then there's things about it that I hate. So almost like every Friday the 13th film. But
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
that's it in a nutshell.
yeah, but so I'm torn on this one to be quite honest. But I like the end with the gal. What's the final gal's name in this one?
Chris, or is it Chris? The one whose
Uh,
house it is?
I don't remember. Is it?
Yeah.
Where's my damn notes? Part three. I didn't write it down. Okay, I'll say Chris. Why not? If you say Chris, I'll say Chris.
That was the
So,
lead girl's
but
name.
yeah, okay,
So
that's it
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Sorry, her. I didn't think her acting got even near good until the very end when she's in
Pretty
the barn
rough.
with Jason. When she's in the
Yeah.
barn with Jason, I finally thought, the dire, the whatever her
Yeah.
feeling of holy crap, this guy's gonna kill me is finally like got to that point,
Suddenly she wasn't so wooden anymore. Yeah.
or just even like
Yeah.
that whole scene where she's like recounting the guy in the freaking forest that was attacking her. That whole bit. I mean, it was just like this is not how people would recount this story. They'd be
No.
crying and sobbing, and they couldn't get enough breath to even finish because this guy was gonna kill her. And she's
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh! And then this happened, and then he got a knife, and
And it's like, and what the
So
fuck does this have to do with anything? Like,
and nothing except that at the end she could say you, it's like when he takes the noose off his head. So,
oh,
but
it's
anyway,
ridiculous.
but
Yeah.
but then I like the end. I like his face reveal at the end. I like I mean I like when he pulls himself off the noose, the rope, and I mean
I like that. I like
so
that.
I like the
Yeah.
very end part, that part there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then there are some deaths in here that I'm quite fond of. So,
Okay. A little.
but
I get a little distracted by the weird 3D cheesiness for a lot of things. And not just
yeah,
in this movie, other movies that didn't age well with
right.
the 3D. Yeah.
But you got to
Right.
remember though, at the time they're like, holy, okay, there's 3D's making a resurgence. We're making this cool film.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
so, and of course they weren't thinking like home video or DVD years later. So I have to give it up for
Mm-mm.
them, you know,
Mm-mm.
and for Harry Manfredini, man, for going after that funky disco rap, that he did. So
God bless him. I would definitely not move 3 to surpass 1 and 2.
I am right there with you, Sandra.
Yeah. Neil.
I mean, it doesn't matter at this point because 2 or 3 voted. But if I think I would probably push this past 2.
Get
Oh.
out.
No,
Get out.
let me only because it's got the eyeball, the 3D eyeball. I like a
Oh,
3D eyeball.
one
to me.
eyeball does not
I like
does
the
not
3D eyeball.
surpass Sackhead Jason.
And I like the final battle between the final girl and Jason more in part 3 than I do in part 2. Although I like part 2 when she pulls the chainsaw out and she goes after him. I do like that. But
Pretty cool.
hey, Sandra, part 2, I forgot to ask you.
Yes.
In the scene where she's under the bed and she's hiding
Okay.
from him, and then the rat comes up, right? And it runs up
Yeah.
to her, and then it runs away. Then they
Yeah.
show the bed and a yellow liquid come out from the bed. Is that
What is the yellow
her
liquid?
wetting herself?
I mean,
Do you remember?
it could only be. It's either
Okay.
her or the rat.
Right. So here's my point. She's not wetting herself when Jason is like in there looking for her, but a
No.
rat runs up to her and then she pees herself.
Yeah, she's
kinda
just like Henry
Rats are
Jones.
scary.
She's just like Henry Jones Sr., who's very afraid of rats from the
Okay.
Indiana Jones franchise. Yeah.
I just think that wasn't even needed. They could have just cut. It was like a 1 second shot of yellow
Yeah.
liquid coming out. It's like, why even put that in there? I know you want to show she's really scared, but then do it before the rat comes in because you
I
make it look
know.
like she's afraid of rats more than she's of being killed.
Yeah.
So that's
And
all.
she is hella
Maybe
afraid
she
of
is.
rats. She's hella rats are lovely. I love rats.
I love rats.
Yeah, rats are great.
They're not.
Taylor's
Well,
not.
he's anti-rat. Part
The
4.
band is fine.
Oh, that's a great commercial with the rat problem. That's a great commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have 1984's Part 4, the final chapter. Spoiler alert, it is not.
What?
Yeah. Okay. To refresh your memory, this is the one where Crispin Glover does a weird dance in which we laugh at him, not with him. Has launched a very famous GIF. We also meet the Tommy Jarvis character played by Lil Corey Feldman in this first film. And makeup effects by, of course, the genius Tom Savini. He's back for this. Jason escapes from the morgue. A group of teens arrive at Crystal Lake to stay in a house and party. Their neighbors are teenager Trish, her twin brother Tommy, and their mom.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is part 4, not the final chapter. I'll start things off. I gotta
Okay.
say, I think this movie is a pretty good time. I really
I
do.
would agree.
Tom Savini and little Corey really breathe a lot of life into this film, which I think was desperately needed after the last one. This one really needed a little more something. And the okay, again, this is where this is going to come up again. Where I think they focused on the wrong characters. I think the house party teens should have been like a tertiary thing. Not interesting. It's just kind of there. I would have really liked to see more from the Rob Dyer character, who is Sandra from part 2. Sandra, that's my name, from part 2's brother, and is there looking for revenge. I kind of liked that. I like that because, kind of the whole franchise is set up on this vengeance, this family vengeance thing. And I just think that they really could have done something cool with the Rob Dyer character and kind of given him more, and this whole thing with getting vengeance with his sister. And it would have fit into this kind of family saga thing. But really, you're watching the movie for Baby Feldman and some hella cool Tom Savini shit. I mean, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, so part 4, I'll be honest with y'all, is my favorite of the whole franchise. So
Not surprised.
you know what? This is actually the first Friday film I ever saw. And
Oh,
I saw it on VHS when it very first came out. So I was like 10 years old or whatever the heck that would have been. And yeah, for me, I mean, I was lucky enough, I think, that this was the first one that I saw because it still holds up for me. I think it holds up as much as a Friday the 13th film can. But
right.
yeah, for what you said, man, I mean, you got little Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover just being Crispin Glover, quite honestly, but in
Yeah, by the way, that's like apparently the real way he danced. And
Yeah, that
they saw
wasn't
they saw
ironic.
him doing it and they were like, oh, we'll just put that in there because that's just weird. So
yeah,
Fucking crazy shit.
not
Again,
surprising.
we're laughing at you, not with you.
I'm loving. But yeah, anyway, so for all the things, I love how this film starts. I love it's like right at the end of 3. They pick up Jason, put him in there, and then it just boom kicks off and starts going. The pacing in this film to me was better than the first ones at this point. It's a little quicker, it gets going, and then once it gets going, I love how it just keeps going and going. I love Jason in this one, and once he gets, I'm gonna say pissed off is the wrong word, but once he kind of like gets that juices flowing, like I'm killing everyone, he's just busting through doors, throwing people through windows, just having a good old time.
Neil,
So
I'm glad you brought up Windows because if
okay,
there's one thing I have learned from this franchise, it is that Jason Voorhees fucking hates Windows.
he does. Yes, it's true.
There
You
is
see,
nothing he
And you
hates
can
more
see
than a
it coming
window.
too, is the funny thing, because
Oh
like
my God.
the camera sort of like pans to the side and there'll be a window over here, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, someone's coming through that or going out of it.
yeah.
Somebody or Jason is coming through that window.
Someone in
Mm-mm.
and out of that window, it is not going to be here in the next three
Nope.
seconds.
Right.
Nope. No.
Yep.
So you
But
have a nostalgic love for
I
this
mean,
movie.
nostalgic part of it. But again, I've watched all these films, many, not all. I'm sorry, I lied. I have watched 1 through 7 many,
Liar.
many times, and number 4 still has always been my favorite. So through all of them, um, yeah. And it's kind of funny when you get into 4. Yeah, when you get into 4, you start getting into the actors who played Jason like didn't want it on their resume. Like, no, don't put that
Yeah,
on there.
yeah,
I don't,
that's sad. Yeah.
kind of thing. So the guy who did part 4, his name was Ted White.
Red White.
And I remember reading an article many, many, many years ago about him and his experience in the film, and he didn't like it primarily because they made them film in freezing weather, apparently. And that young lady that had to get into the lake naked, in
Yeah.
which she gets it on the raft, apparently, like, I mean, I remember they were saying like that, it was obviously a really cold night, but they were just like they had to get it done, and between him and the water and her in the raft naked, it was just a horrible night. So he didn't have much fun, apparently. Not as much fun as it looks like he would
Mm.
have. But
Right. Like he and his fellow actors were
right,
having a hard time. Yeah.
yeah. But that was one person's account, who
Yeah.
was stuck doing
That's
the
fair.
crap.
It's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way in heck I will let part 4 get past parts 2 or 1, but I'll
Obviously.
let it get past part 3. I'll let that happen any day of the week.
Okay.
Well, this is also the first one I ever saw
Oh,
as well. I think again it was at a slumber party or something, but
yeah.
and like Neil says, I agree. It does hold up for me anyway.
It's fun. Yeah, it's totally fun.
It probably makes the most sense out of out of all of them.
Yeah.
So, and there's some funny things that like when Rob says he's killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, duh.
Yeah.
But for me, I would move this to number 1.
You fucking kidding me? You guys want to move this movie to number 1 more so than the awesome mystery thriller that is part 1 even?
Yeah.
Jesus wept.
Wow.
Yeah. And also,
Okay.
3, and 4 all take place within like 5 days, right? They all like where one
Mm,
ends, the next one just begins again.
no. Well, yeah.
Between 2 and 3? God, I don't know.
I
Because
think
it
it's
shouldn't.
pretty
I hope not. Because
quick.
he goes from part 2 to 3. He goes from really hairy and long
I
hair,
think,
and
yeah, I think it
then
is
part 3
supposed to
he's
be like days. I think it is supposed to be like
Is it
days.
days?
And
Okay.
I think that's all the way parts 2. Like, yeah, well, because then, yeah, it's weird. It gets a little. It's starting to get weird. The timeline and
right.
the
Okay.
plot holes are
All
going to
right.
start to go
Well,
like this.
yeah, I mean, because continuity, man, he goes from skinny and hairy to bald and
Well,
buff.
yeah, there's
So
that too. So
Continuity is not in this franchise's
yeah,
vocabulary.
they couldn't pay for a for
Yeah,
a script
they
supervisor, a
try
continuity person.
sometimes to stitch together continuity, and it's like stop, 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 stop.
all right.
I can't believe you guys are moving this past to number 1.
It's my number 1. I like it
Yeah,
the most.
I
Yeah.
would put it as number 1 also.
I would not. No, no,
Okay.
it's fucking crazy. Okay. Oh, part 5. Here we go. Here we go. A new beginning. Such a sweet little title. Part 5. Who directed this? Uh, Danny Steinman.
Simon,
I want
yeah,
to
very
say,
good.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Tommy Jarvis is now a teen and no longer played by our beloved Corey. He is tormented by the mass murderers and has been in psychiatric hospitals for years. He is transferred to a halfway house where death quickly follows. The new Jason, oh, this is the end. Plot twist. The new Jason is revealed
Yep.
as a dude named Roy Burns. Very very Scooby Doo like. Roy Burns. His son Joey was a patient at the halfway house who was killed, and he's seeking his revenge. Um, Again, I kind of like this whole family vengeance thing. I do kind of like that because I like that kind of legacy stuff. But my God, did I find this film boring?
Really?
I found it very
Really?
boring. Very boring.
Wow.
Boring. Yeah. Didn't
Yeah.
love it. Don't have a lot of love for this movie.
No, this God, I'm probably most conflicted by this one. I'll be quite honest, because I remember for a long time I did not like this one. I felt it was mean, like just kind of mean spirited, and it just went for all the cheap, literally like let's get the most nudity, the most violence, and not worry about story or anything else. The portrayal of the hillbillies, I mean, it's like so over the top. Like, I mean,
Ugh.
it's just kind of like crazy.
It's
Um,
crazy, y'all.
but at the same time, now and I'm watching it now, I mean,
Yeah.
I should probably add, sorry, that I watched, like I said, 1 through 7 like many, many times as a child, as a teenager. So at one point, like you could just describe to me a death and I could tell you what film it was in, kind of thing. Like I knew him
Mhm.
really, really well. And then I hadn't watched him for 15 years, maybe, except for a thing here or there.
Right.
But five, yeah, I mean, how do you describe five? It's not the original Jason, so it's kind of like
We got a new Jason
you kind of want to like pick it up and
thing.
like pin it to the wall, like kind of like leave it on its
Mm,
own. Hmm, it's interesting. Kayla, what do you think about five?
it's
I have to get
boring.
my thoughts together.
Uh,
There's not much to
it
say.
it had fake Indiana Jones in it. The
Fake
Matt
Indian.
character, the Matt character, the
Oh,
guy.
yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Okay. From the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of
yeah.
As
part
soon
three,
as he was
yeah.
on screen, I was like, "Oh, you gave Indy his hat."
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so he's not fake Indiana Jones. He was
I just don't know what else to call him, and like,
he had a
and on
name.
IMDb, like his picture is from Last Crusade, like
Yeah.
because that's the hands down the biggest thing he's ever done. Um, I I felt horrible for doing it, but I hated the character with the candy bar, the one that,
Oh,
you
Joey.
know, can I help you? I'm really good with laundry. Um, and then if the person who ends up being Jason was so upset by his death, then why didn't he come get him in the first? Like it
Yeah,
just.
yeah, yeah. No,
I don't know.
it's
Way
weird.
too many problems.
Yeah.
Hands down, my least favorite of what we have up on the board so far.
Yeah, it can certainly. Yeah.
So, Mindy said that apparently the actor who plays Joey was actually um a child molester, and he molested Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
Oh, he
Oh
was one of
fuck!
the ones that Corey Feldman named.
Yeah, I guess I don't know that other
Yeah,
than
he
from what
named
from
he
what
named a few people.
right.
Huh?
So
Well,
that
fuck that guy.
so
Yeah.
if that is in fact true, and of course if that really is in fact a thing, then yeah, obviously screw that guy and everything about him.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm siding
So
with Corey. I love that Corey Feldman. Mm-mm.
Ugh.
Boo.
totally. Okay, so
It can
what are we
stay right
doing?
where it can just stay. It doesn't need to go into a nice place on the list.
Okay.
Things are gonna get interesting again. Hmm.
Hmm.
It's kind of like the mafia. Just when you think you're out, this franchise sucks you back in. Friday the 13th, Part 6 from 1986. Jason Lives, directed by Tom McLaughlin.
We like him. I
We
like
like
him.
him.
We
We
like
like,
Tom.
Yes.
okay. So, Part 6. Jason Lives. Tommy's still with us. Oh, fucking Tommy.
New
He
actor.
Yeah.
New actor. He accidentally resurrects Jason. I mean, we're like right in the action. He accidentally resurrects Jason, who of course heads back to Crystal Lake as he is wont to do. Now Jason is more of an undead superhuman type of guy. Tommy tangles with the local police who don't believe in that Jason is back. The sheriff's daughter Megan likes Tommy and wants to help, but of course, she is but a humble camp counselor, which means she and the young people are all fodder for Jason's wrath. Um, Most importantly, Vinny is in this movie.
Right.
That's what matters the most. No,
That's
actually,
that's big.
this movie is fun. This is a fun
Yeah.
movie. This is back to being fun again. Some legit laugh out loud moments. Like where I had like a guffaw. Very funny. This because this movie is self-aware. It's self-aware. So when it's self-aware, it's fun and it's funny and it's kind of we're back to being laughing with you, not at you type of energy. A little bit of kind of over the top campy stuff.
Mhm.
And it goes down very easily. Some good kills, not especially gory. And that's another thing. I don't think this franchise is particularly gory at all. So it's kind of weird. I'm gonna save this till the end. But uh yeah, fun film. Fun film. I think it is better than 4, but not better than 1 and 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe better than 4. I'm not
Maybe.
saying.
All right. No.
Just
This
kidding.
is this film. Okay. So one of the things about Friday the 13th films that I love are the openings, the opening like sequence, right? Where
Yes.
it's the Friday coming through and shattering the glass, or it explodes, or then it becomes a mask and Friday swoops in and makes it explode, whatever it might be. This has the best opening of any of the Friday films, hands down, for me. It's got the whole James Bond esque thing where I love the opening. I mean, the movie just starts out right away with Tommy and his buddy Haas in the car driving. They go to the thing, they resurrect Jason. The opening sequence, I just love how the film starts. And I love that whole thing with the machete slashing and the blood, and Jason lives and the whole deal, and the music. I thought they did a fabulous
Yeah.
job.
I
So
will say I admire its the fucking bravery of this film, that it's like if you don't know what's going on, fuck you, this is what's happening.
right,
And it just
no,
like
it's
start
seriously,
like right in there.
yep,
I mean, you have to like sit back and be like, oh, I admire that in a film. I mean, it is the 6th installment, like it should be able to do that.
right. But this is easily the best produced, the best paced, the most the tightest of all the films. It is very well
Lots of
made.
kills, like Vinny said, it was like they wanted to kill like every 10 minutes or whatever,
Right.
and
But
that's
the thing
what
is,
should be. It should be that.
but it's very well done though. The film has got a very
Yeah.
high production level versus a lot of the other
Yes.
films, and it's done very well. Yeah, and it's so I mean, I think it's a great film, and I love got a little Alice Cooper music in there, and that behind the
Yes.
mask. So
Fear
this was
behind the mask. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was.
I love that song.
So I think they actually did a really good job with this film.
Yeah.
Caleb,
Caleb.
um. So the
Is he
previous
awake? Is
film.
Caleb awake?
No, I am. I you know.
he's leaning
Um,
back so he can't think as quickly.
the
The blood's
previous
going
film, New,
somewhere
New
else.
Beginnings, said that Jason
Yeah.
was cremated, and then this one opens where he's in a grave, and then he's resurrected. Whatever, that's fine.
Again,
That's
continuity. We don't know that word around here. We don't know that word at Crystal Lake.
no big deal. But
That's fine.
If you're looking for a storyline that makes sense, you're not going to get it. So
Not
we'll
gonna
just
get it in this
move past
franchise.
that.
Nope.
I thought that the sex scene between I forget that I know Court was one of them, but I forget what the girl's name was. But it was the most awkward.
Awkward.
Like a lot of head banging and like weird face making.
No, not okay.
And then I had a question
Court's
for you,
O face,
Sandra.
Yeah.
Court, fuckboy?
Is Court a fuckboy? Was Court the first fuckboy on film? We could call him that. Let's call him that.
All right.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, Sandra explained to Neil and I what a fuckboy is.
Very recently. They were very new to this term.
And so now I'm out looking for him. I'm like, oh, that's a fuckboy. Oh, he's a fuckboy.
Look at that haircut.
Like, oh,
Fuckboy.
look at those fuckboys over there.
He's like the Holden Caulfield now. He's just like going
Yeah.
around.
You're all fuckboys.
So would you like to explain, Sandra, what a fuckboy is for anyone that doesn't know?
I think the people in the audience know what a
Yeah.
fuckboy is. They're very self-aware. And if not, I encourage you to Google it. The thing is you do know it, and you know him. You just might not know the term.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, and then I also like the propeller head. I thought that was very
It was nice.
that was
Nice
fun.
touch.
That was a nice little touch.
This is
yeah. Go ahead.
this is the only film where they actually have campers like show up to the camp finally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literal
So-
children. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually show up.
And he doesn't kill them.
He does not. So whether that's a, I don't know. I felt bad because he kills the one gal who was like really sweet. I can't remember call her name now, but the one that helps the little blonde girl like go back to bed when she has a nightmare, and
Oh yeah, she made me gag though because she was like, "When I'm scared, I pray."
I don't know. She clearly got opened up pretty good because her
Joking.
blood was all over that cabin.
Yeah,
So
because she didn't pray hard enough, girlfriend.
yeah, apparently not hard enough. But
I'm just teasing. She was fine. She's fine. Vinny and the sheriff, they're both just like they're so unbelievably adorable.
They are.
Again, it's like this movie knows what it is. It knows exactly what it is, and it plays so perfectly.
It does, and I really do love Vinny's character in this movie though. When he's Deputy Rick Cologne, I just love how his every line he delivers is full of sarcasm and he's just pretty much happy Friday the 13th. And he's just like whatever. It's just I don't know. He's great.
It's how the cops in this fucking cursed town that should be burned to the ground. That's how they would be, right? Like I mean.
Right. What was it called? Forest Green in this movie? They changed the name to
Forest Green.
Yeah,
Forest Gump.
They changed it to Forest Gump.
Yeah, and then goes Forest Gump.
Lake Forest Gump.
So are you guys moving this around on the list? I feel like I'm way outvoted now in this. I mean,
don't feel outvoted. Yet.
I do. I feel defeated. I feel utterly defeated.
I would move this up to second place if I had my druthers. So you guys go from there.
Better than New Beginning. It's better than Part 3.
Yes. Can we put it?
I think I'll stop
3?
there. I'll stop there.
Okay. Can we put it above Part 3? Okay.
Yeah, it's above. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm
not
happy with
2 or
this.
1? Oh my God.
People actually like 2 and 1. No, people who stick with it with the franchise, I think, would definitely enjoy 6 if you haven't seen it. Michael's favorite?
Yes.
Michael's favorite? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Who is not with us, by the way?
I have not seen him.
For 2 weeks in a
or he's
row.
not speaking up.
Yeah.
I'm sure if he's there, he'll watch later because I don't think he'd miss this.
Yeah.
Let's get real weird with it, shall we? It's called Part 7 or 1988. 1988, Part 7, The New Blood. Who directed this?
John Carl Buechler.
Years after the first film. Years after the first film at this point. A girl with psychokinesis.
How many years?
A girl with psychokinetic powers accidentally frees Jason, who goes on a good old-fashioned Crystal Lake killing spree. Highlights of this film for me include another character named Sandra, Kane Hodder, enters the franchise,
Right.
and the infamous sleeping bag kill, another gif. Everybody likes that sleeping bag
Mm.
whack. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Go on.
otherwise known as Friday the 13th Part 7, Weekend at Bernie's. So that's,
Yes.
that's what it's known as. But
Yeah.
no? Okay.
No, we're with you. I think we're all in agreement.
We're all there. Terry Kaiser, the wonderful Terry Kaiser. If you're a Bernie's fan, you know Terry Kaiser. Playing
Yeah,
the
we love.
schmuck, the schmuck psychologist, whatever the hell his title was. I don't know what he was, but
Yeah.
so yeah. This
Yeah.
this used to be high on my list. And then when I watched it again, I was like, this sucks. Like the acting is not so good in this movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like, but at this point, you guys, I don't know if you had the same thing I did, but I started to get like Friday fatigue.
Oh,
Yeah.
abso-fucking-lutely Friday fatigue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It starts to
Oh,
set
yeah.
in. It starts to set in where you're like,
Oh, yeah.
he's behind someone in the woods again.
There's not enough windows in this one, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I will choose to spend my portion of this segment talking about Kane Hodder.
Okay.
I do like his work. I'm not saying it's the most absolutely brilliant, made me fall in love with Jason, but I appreciate there's consistency from here on, out
Yeah.
in Jason's movement, his physicality, just the takes, the ticks, the quirks, the little movements of the head and everything. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate Kane Hodder for, being Kane Hodder totally. But I think that's important to note is that now we have some consistency with our Jason.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I would agree with everything you just said, Sandra, and just add that it's not Kane's fault that it's a shitty movie, that it's a horrible script, that but
he's a victim.
I wrote a note that said 5 minutes in, I already hate the premise. After 5 minutes, I was already done, and I still had the rest of the movie to fucking get through.
It's a departure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my biggest question, I don't know why this is, but did they show that cat that jumps out and scares her earlier on?
Not that I remember.
So are we to assume that the cat was just like chilling in that cupboard
in the closet?
That it was like locked in the closet that entire time?
It's the same cat that scared Alice in part 2.
So it's been there for a really long time. All right.
Yeah. So he's like, screw this place. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go.
It ate every frightening rat that crawled by, and yeah.
That same cat is in every episode of the franchise. He kind of pops along.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Crystal
wonderful if it was all really from the cat's point of view?
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
I would love that.
And then the ending, like using her powers to summon her dad, the ghost of her dad. Like what?
Ghost dad.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is the inspiration for that film, Ghost Dad.
Okay, so what to me what redeems this film in any way at all is Jason's look, because I do really like the scene between the ending battle between Tina and Jason when she makes his mask tighten and it pops off, and then he turns around like with that look, and he's all he's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. He's
I think it
gnarly.
looks so cool. And I love that scene between them where he got that look of like surprise and irritation, kind of that she's able to do this stuff to him. I kind of like that.
Big thoughts for Jason. Big thoughts for
they
Jason.
are big thoughts. So, and I like the fact I like all that. I like the burn that Kane does in the basement with the fireball that shoots out and then it lights them all up.
That's
like I think
cool.
I
Yeah.
think it's a pretty good burn. I mean, it goes on for, I mean, it's edited, but it, it engulfs all of him and it goes on for a while. So there's some cool stuff there that I
Yeah.
like. But I agree with Caleb at the very end, the very, very end on the dock. It's just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of lame.
I don't feel that this movie needs to surpass any others on the list. Is it better?
Oh,
Is
you
it
want to
I,
better?
put it above 5?
Yeah, I would put it above 5.
I would do that for sure.
We can do that. I mean, it's
it,
kind of
yeah,
it's winning the ugly
to me, it's like
contest. I mean,
irrelevant. Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
could you put him on? Could it be a tie?
Let me say one thing about John Carl Buechler in case you guys don't know. He is a horror guy and he was a special effects guy.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
Um, so this for him really was kind of like a project of love. I mean, because he is a
Right.
horror
Aww.
guy and like he did special effects for Troll.
Oh
Um,
Jesus.
among other, well, Troll's kind of cool. Not Troll 2, the first one, but
Oh my God.
anyway, but
Okay.
so I'm just saying, as far as like the love of the film, it doesn't translate well now, but I think he really did want to try and do his best with it, which is why Jason,
I'm
and
sure.
again, was so cool looking in my opinion. That's where the love went. It was like, let's make Jason really freaking cool, but
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I will move it ahead of 5, but I'm only doing it because of Kane Hodder.
Fair.
okay,
Here.
You know, weird.
I'll drink to that.
yeah, okay. I mean, if you guys are leaving it there, then so be it. But I would put it ahead of part 3 myself, but because I think it's Kane Hodder. I like his look. I think he's really cool looking. I put it in front of 3.
I have nothing but respect for Kane. I mean, Neil, you and we've met him. He is a super, super nice guy.
We done drank with Kane.
We
Where was I?
You were there in spirit, Sandra.
Was this recently?
2010.
this was yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
So not in part of 3? No, you guys want to put it in part of 3? You hate it that much? Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, I'm not.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, chat.
I mean,
the chat, by the way, the chat is pretty much on my side, just so you guys know. It's pretty much everything.
oh, okay. There's,
So, they
there's
can't
a
blame
first
me.
time. There's a first time for everything. So, yeah. Okay. Talk about weird. Jesus Christ. This shit is gonna get real crazy with part 8. From 1989, Jason Takes Manhattan, directed by Rob Heaton. Okay, here we go, people. A graduating senior class takes a yacht cruise from Crystal Lake to Manhattan. Jason ensues. I mean, you guys, this premise is so fucking wacky. It is so wacky. This movie was utterly confounding, ridiculous, and yet somehow also boring. So I don't know how that's possible. I think my favorite part is the weird father-son struggle. Oh, that relatable time old struggle between, but dad, I don't want to be a yacht captain like you are, and like, oh son, and son, you have to be a yacht captain how I say. And it's like they try to play it so fucking dramatic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this movie.
So
it of course paints New York in a horrible light. It paints urban environment in a horrible light. It paints, except for, well, I mean, like, because the bad people in the city are like people of color, and they're like all lecherous and out to fucking rape you and get you, and your white woman too. And it's like, oh my God, this movie's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. The niece and nephew and the niece and the uncle, and what the fuck is happening? Someone, I need an adult. Why does the cool JJ girl who's a rock star die so early? She's like fucking awesome. And of course, I mean, she's got to go. And if boxing is just trying to punch your opponent in the head, as shown in both the boxing scenes, then I guess I don't understand boxing, because I thought it was a different sport than that. Um, I can't. I'm leaving. Bye. Bye, everybody.
So, okay. Kayla, give me a second. Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason takes a crap. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's called, so the very first, one of
Yeah.
the very first things you said was they take a cruise, or
A
he
little
starts on a
yacht
boat in
cruise.
Yacht cruise. So
Yeah.
it's called Crystal Lake. It's been called Crystal Lake since the very first episode. And all of a sudden it becomes Crystal River because it ends up in the ocean
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Which,
Oh, by the way, it's like fucking New Jersey, or
right,
sometimes it's Ohio. I'm
but
very
hey,
confused.
hey, guy who wrote the movie, a fucking lake is an enclosed body of water. It
Yeah,
can't go
you
to the
can't.
ocean.
You can't. It
That's what a
doesn't.
lake does.
It doesn't
So
have little legs, and it
yeah.
goes. And
So
no.
it's just that. So right there, you're already like just changing the physics of the world. Like you're just
Yeah,
changing it. So
this
it's
is
now
the worst plot
it's
hole.
it
Plot
is.
hole movie.
But yeah, I there I see no redeeming qualities in this film whatsoever. I thought it was horrific and
Yeah.
horrible, and the acting was atrocious. The lead guy was just,
Oh my god.
oh man, he should have got the guitar in the head, and let the guitar girl
Yes.
run around. But
Everything about it was so weird. And the lead girl, the niece, she's like on fucking Quaaludes. She's just like she's like a fucking zombie.
so Hungry Boy has a good little thing, and this is part as well, that he says that when they take his mask off at the end, and you realize that Mama Voorhees must have been fooling around with one of the fathers of the Garbage Pail Kids. So
Oh my god, he's so much scarier with the mask on. Like
what were they
it's
thinking when they take his mask off and he looks? I mean, that's what the
yeah.
hell. I
It
mean,
is so bad.
it looks nothing like part 7. It's
No. This movie is a
No, it was
mess.
it was very odd. It was kind of like the levity they tried to put into it, where like the hockey mask on the billboard, and then like
Oh, come on.
Kane
Yeah.
turns and looks at the hammer and goes like, you know, or the
Cringy,
little
cringy.
the four, like I don't know if they're supposed to be like gang members or something, but when he gets to Times Square and they're like, "Hey,
God.
we're gonna fuck you up," and he just like takes his mask off and shows it, shows him his face, and they're like, "That's
Jeez.
cool, man. All right."
Oh
Like,
my
what
god.
the fuck? Like, what?
It is this movie is actually offensive. This movie is actually straight
um,
up offensive.
Another
She
note: a
Oh
teacher
my
that
god.
gives you a quill that Stephen King may have used, like,
What the fuck?
probably wants something in return. Just saying. You know, like,
Yeah.
but that whole middle section where they're on that boat going to Manhattan. I mean, that whole section is it's just
It's garbage. There's
yeah,
nothing.
it's completely pointless and stupid, and it
yeah,
just
It goes
horrible.
nowhere. There's
yeah.
not. Oh my god, I can't even. There's not words. They don't. There's words have not been invented yet to fucking describe.
Right. So
I
I also
can't. I
have
can't. I
I have in
can't. I
my
can't.
notes also that and Doc Pretorius brought this up, is like Jason teleporting. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
All of a sudden
What?
Jason just he's chasing you, and then you turn around and he's over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
he
It's like,
teleports like a mother effer in this film.
and did you
He's
notice
everywhere.
they went very Scooby Doo on this one, where like in the hallways, like someone would go through a door, and Jason would pop out another door, and then they would come out through the other door, and then it's like a whole Scooby Doo doors, opening and
Yeah,
closing
and
thing.
what about just the notion that every night under New York floods with toxic waste,
Right,
and
right.
like and they're just everybody's walking around just fucking fine.
Yep.
How did they get out of the sewer? How does any of this happen?
Well, I mean,
Like,
they're lucky they didn't run into Chud. I mean, that's what happens in New York. So
yeah,
yeah.
you know what I really
So
wanted to I really wanted the turtles to show up. Secret of the
yeah,
Ooze. Like show
turtles,
up, start
Chud,
cracking.
someone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Splinter is in this movie drinking toxic waste though, so I guess
That's
that's
right.
the
But it
actual
kills him, though.
origin. Yeah, he does. Mm. And the
And the
dog. I
yeah, the
love the
death
dog,
scene.
but
The dog. Go ahead. Sorry.
I love the dog, but it's so fucking ridiculous. I
Yeah,
mean,
the death
you
scene
can't
for
try to win
the
us back. Yeah.
no for the teacher, the guy, is that whatever he is,
Her uncle.
her uncle, the Spock
Yeah.
dad, whatever he was. But I mean, it's like
Yeah.
It was so stupid. It's
When
just
he's
put him in
fucking
the.
lying in a pile of shredded paper. Everything about this movie is so absurd. This is probably the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah. This.
yeah.
Oh, Mark. All right. Go ahead, Scott.
I have to know who did the makeup for this film because I feel like they just gave up. There is no
They gave up.
blood, no gore, and they don't show
There's
three-quarters
nothing.
of the deaths.
No, they
Yeah.
don't. They don't show any deaths. It's all like fucking cut.
Yeah. I don't know. The bet.
Well, that
honest,
could just be though that they had to edit it down to not get an X rating.
By
Which-
showing nothing? They
Yeah.
show literally nothing.
Yeah, I know. I understand that, but
Okay, but
I know a lot of these movies had to be edited down to, and I think this one was really, yeah.
yeah, but I
think
to
that's
the
giving it
captain.
too
Was it the
much
captain who
leeway.
had his throat slit? It's
Yes,
like it's
oh
just
my
like
God.
a line of red like eyeliner across his neck, and he falls
It's
over.
just like, eek. Oh, it's ridiculous.
it's true. There was no blood came out. Yeah.
No, there's no blood in this movie. There's nothing. There's nothing in this movie. Oh my God, I hate it. I'm getting so angry. I can't.
This film it was an insult, quite honestly, to Friday the 13th fans. And I
It is an
apologize,
insult.
Laura, because Laura says she likes this movie. But
Oh, honey.
I mean,
Oh,
you're sorry, but
honey. No,
the best thing
no.
about this film was the marketing, quite honestly, because they had some pretty cool like marketing with the poster of "I Love New York" and Jason cutting, slashing through
Oh,
it,
sure.
or they had some
sure.
cool things like that done that got you excited. But then the movie itself, of course, was just a steaming pile
Of
So-
toxic waste that makes you young.
Yeah, that makes you young.
It makes you turn into a little boy.
Oh my God, that was so weird. That was
They pull
so
some
weird.
existential ending that makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, like made so much sense that they completely ignored it in the next
Yep.
one.
Yeah, they were like, no. Speaking of the next one,
Speaking of,
things are about to get fun. So, part 9, Jason Goes to Hell from 1993. I had not seen this movie until this week. And I was, I'd gone my whole life thinking that this movie was actually about Jason going to hell. Sorely disappointed in that he does not go to hell in this film. Not how you want. Okay. Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday. Not quite, but we're getting closer. Jason becomes a deadite. I mean, that's what's really
Yeah.
important here. Jason gets resurrected again, only to be taken down by the FBI. Okay.
Walt Disney did it.
Yeah, exactly. Walt Disney called in a favor. So this movie is God, this movie's all over the place. There's things that I love about this movie, and there's things that I hate about this movie. The plot holes, you could drive the USS Lazarus from the last film. You could drive that yacht through these plot holes. I mean, you want to talk about your teleporting Jason. This movie is like all exposition. It's a mess. It's a mess, but at the same time, I like the mess. I like it. Bounty Hunter Creighton Duke. Okay, I guess they were like, well, we've gone 9 parts without having a magical Negro character, so let's just throw that in there. He was an odd man, because at some points I'm like, oh, I like you, and then other points what the fuck was the breaking the finger scene? What even was that? Not to mention then his fingers magically heal, so I can't. Now I do know
They were just
that
sprained.
they're just sprained. The incomparable gift from God, Leslie Jordan, is in this film. Love him. Love the whole staff of the diner. I love the final battle in the diner. It is epic. Very sad when Leslie dies, though. If you do not follow Leslie Jordan on like social media, you are doing yourself a disservice. He magically appeared on Instagram during lockdown, and he is just goddamn, that man is a treasure. I will say this movie, again, knows what it is. It knows totally what it is. It's completely self-aware. It was, the Necronomicon is there. He is a deadite. It's a whole thing. Again, the plot holes, the weirdness, the incongruity is obscene. But I love it. I don't know. Am I just like Stockholm syndrome at this point? I love the
Yeah,
cute
I
little thing
you
that's
know
in
what?
Jason,
I'm with you too. Like I don't know why I liked this one. Um
but I did.
After saying all the things, I'm talking all the shit I have about all the previous ones. Like like for whatever reason, like I wrote now that's how you start a film because I thought that was like
Oh my
stupidly
god.
wonderful. Um
Yes. That was so
with
over the
the
top.
FBI just unloading on him and like calling in like air support, dropping bombs on him, and you know.
That was so over the top.
But it did kind of have like an Evil Dead feel to it, kind
And it
of,
was
where it's
deliberate.
like,
Yeah.
where it's not you're not supposed to take it serious. Besides the Necronomicon, you had like the crate from Creepshow in it. There
Yeah.
was a Jaws reference in it.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I feel like there was something else, but yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed. Oh, K and B did the special effects for all of this, and they just like the ratings board didn't seem to have a problem with any of this. You know?
Yeah, I love the cute little thing that lives inside Jason, though it's hilarious to think that's been in there the whole time. I would totally adopt it and feed it kibble and love it forever. And it was so cute. Um, oh my god, there's a magical knife. Like there's so much. There's so much.
Yeah,
It's like they just didn't care about anything that's happened before. And they're like, it's now in the Evil Dead universe. That's all.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
all.
point because
yeah,
the knife is like the same one in part two. The knife in part two. Yeah.
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 Um, I you know what? I don't like this film as much as you guys. I don't think so. It's like I yeah. I don't know. To me, it's I love the references, like you said. To the Necronomicon is as plain as gold, sitting right there,
Yeah.
um, and of course the crate. Love the crate, kind of thing. But I thought again the acting I thought was atrocious, and the
Oh, it's so
story
bad.
just kind of didn't. I don't know. Didn't kind of make much sense in any
No, it
to me.
doesn't makes no sense. It makes no
But
sense.
I do like that they were trying to have fun with it. But I couldn't get over the acting. I think and John DeLaMay, who was the main guy in it, of course, was in the TV series Friday the 13th.
Oh,
So by the time this came out, I'd already known him from a couple seasons at least of the TV show.
never seen the TV show.
Okay. If you like this
Either.
film, maybe you should watch it because it's about antiquities that are all cursed, and
Oh,
he and a couple of people have to go and get them all back from when they're sold off from people basically. And every episode is them getting the new antiquity and the evil that it does out in
so
the
it has
world.
nothing to do with Friday the 13th.
Nope. It's
It's just a marketing thing.
well, yeah, Frank Mancuso Jr., who produced the last few number of films for Paramount, he owned.
Yeah.
So because he had those rights, he said, "I'm gonna use this name that is a marketing machine and call my
Right.
new sitcom or my new series the same thing, and go
Oh
off of that."
God, that's you could do a whole talk about the marketing rights behind this franchise too. That's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
could.
that's a whole thing. I think part 9 is better than part 8. Part 7, maybe not better than part 6 though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Sandra. Looking at the list,
Yeah.
I would not put it above past. What is it? Part 7? No. What did you
What is
say?
it, producer Scott? Oh, I would put it past part 8. I would put it past part 7. I probably wouldn't put it past part 6. Yes.
Wait, what?
Oh, you're
Hang
sorry.
on.
Okay, I'll go up the list for you guys here.
Okay.
I just lost my list. Okay. It's better than Takes Manhattan?
Yes.
Yes.
Better than New Beginning?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Okay.
No.
Better than New Blood?
No.
Which one's New Blood? Part
That's
7? Oh
7.
my god.
That is
Oh,
7.
it's better
That's
than
7.
7.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, it's better than 7.
Yeah.
Better than Part 3?
No.
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 Yes.
You've already stopped, Neil. You have no more vote.
Caleb, I missed yours. Is it better than Part 3?
It is not better than part 3.
Okay.
stops here. Um, Last but not least, my God, let's get through this next entry as quick as possible, shall we? From 2001, Jason X, aka Jason 10, aka Jason Goes to Space Camp. Jason Goes to Space Camp. The year is 2455. Jason ends up in a goddamn spaceship. This movie sucks. This movie sucks so hard. Another ridiculously silly plot, yet somehow manages to also really drag and be boring in places. It's disgustingly misogynistic. You want it to be something that it's not. It's not self-aware. It starts out like it kind of might be, and that quickly fades. Um, he turns into like weird cyborg Jason where he kind of looks like Shredder, and that's another Ninja Turtles reference. I just I can't throw this movie in the garbage. Throw it away.
Wow.
Stupid.
But it had David Cronenberg in it.
Yep.
That is the one redeeming part of this movie is that he's on screen for literally 30 seconds. Yeah, that's all I have to say about
So
that.
that's crazy. It's funny 'cause I actually liked this film more than 9. I thought I thought yeah, it's a completely ridiculous idea, but I found it
It's
more
not
entertaining.
self-aware. 9 is so self-aware. This one takes itself really seriously in parts. I don't know.
You know, to put Jason in space, I don't think you're taking yourself seriously. I think you're
But they do
you're
because they
coming
turn him
up.
into this cyborg thing.
I know
And
they turn him into to a freaking rideshare driver. I mean, he's Uber Jason. So I mean, I get it. It's like,
I got you. I
but
got you. I was like, he doesn't drive. Oh no, it's so. I mean, the whole premise, the whole plot is so ridiculous, and
no,
it's
it
not
is. But
fun. It's not fun
see, I
for
thought
me.
it
I was
was
not.
once they got in this space. I thought it was fun. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting this above. I mean, very high up, but
No.
I thought they. I don't know. To a point, it was fun. At least it was more fun for me than 9 or for sure than 8. But
No, no, it needs to stay. It needs to stay in the trash,
you
in the
put it dead
trash
last.
heap. Well, I mean, I don't. I guess I technically like it more than Manhattan,
Okay, at
but
least give me that.
I mean, I don't know. At least Manhattan, I kind of like. I laughed a lot through the movie, like at it and like making fun of shit. This one, it just like I said, sometimes it really like drug on and on. So I kind of lost my momentum for ribbing it through the movie.
Okay. There's definitely not as much ribbing because it was, yeah, not as much to rib, I guess, in that regard. But I don't know. Caleb?
Pointless money grab. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't actually watch this entire
Oh,
movie.
okay.
You're so lucky, Caleb.
I did like go through and I watched all the kills, and there were some interesting ones. The cryo face smash was, that's an interesting way to kill
That one is
someone.
the cryo
Um,
face smash is cool.
the I guess I would question why there's like a screw just like there, when he throws the guy over and then he spins around on the screw.
Oh,
When he
yeah.
gets
You're like,
screwed,
what is
yeah,
that?
serves a major function on a
um, and
space
you kind
vessel.
of have to give it to the entire series for finding inventive ways to keep killing people, I guess.
I guess. Um,
Yeah.
so this kind of I really like I have questions. I have questions for the diehard fans of this franchise because I don't think it's possible to be a fan of all of these movies consistently because they're like they get so different from time to time. So is that what like people who are like how Freddy's like our favorite slasher and people who like Jason is their favorite slasher, is that what you like about this? Is that it's not consistent. And I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm really trying to understand like why that is. And sometimes the movies are not very gory at all. And it's like, okay, so there's no story per se in some of it. There's no gore per se. Um, I still think Freddy has, I mean, I know we're not comparing the two, but Freddy has like really cool kills. Jason goes through windows a lot. I, I don't know, man. I'm confounded by this as a franchise. I literally am like, it's like a Rubik's cube, and I'm like, I can't get it to match up. I don't understand.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could say maybe. I mean, part of it, I mean, this franchise was one of the franchises that got a huge amount of heat from the '80s parents and the Morton Downey Juniors and the whatever religious rights that were saying, all these slasher films are ruining our children. So I'm sure there was a lot of pressure on them from the MPAA about what they could show and not show. Clearly, they got away with a lot more in say like Part 5 versus when they started getting into 6, 7, 8, whatever at
Yeah.
that point. But I would think a lot of the hardcore Friday fans, I can't say for sure. I would have to imagine at 7, like 8 and above is kind of where their their loyalties maybe start to dwindle. You know what I mean? Because they're not good representations of, I think, the franchise.
I like that the end of 9, we didn't even talk about this. Got the Freddy glove.
Yep,
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah.
that's a New
Um,
Line. That was New Line took over the franchise.
and Neil, I've producer Scott told me this is we really should have included Freddy versus Jason because they conceptualized that film so early. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in 1989. So we really should have included it.
Well, can I tell you one little thing from my youth? So
Please.
when I was just a youngin', I had my walls in my room are completely covered in all horror paraphernalia and
And
posters and
Garfield and
things.
Elf.
Yeah, it was all horror stuff. The Garfield and
Sure.
Alf were, more whatever, just little stuffed animals in my bed. But anyway, and I had a little thing on my wall that was the Jason mask that they made. It was all white, made in some crappy plastic. That was the only thing you could get at the time. And then I made a makeshift little Freddy, like a finger, like a knife kind of thing, and I taped it on the mask and I wrote Freddy versus Jason. And I had that like on my wall, this thing back in the 87, 88, somewhere in there, probably. So it was something that I had been championing for
So
for a long time.
you want like credit? You want like a producer credit?
I think
Like,
at least associate producer. I mean, at least something.
okay.
So, but
Story by perhaps
I was one of those kids writing in saying, "You make Freddy versus Jason."
on your typewriter.
I couldn't afford a typewriter. I had to handwrite a letter.
Oh, to give to the carrier pigeon.
That's right.
No.
Anyway,
Well, I read that Part 7, The New Blood, was supposed to, or that's what they wanted that to be Freddy versus Jason. I think Paramount still had it.
Really?
Had the Jason rights
right.
at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't work out a deal. And then, so that's why they worked out the whole telekinetic, psychic
I mean,
bullshit,
that's
whatever
the
that
next
was.
logical step. Next
Yeah.
logical step, of course, in the evolution of the series. Do we have a list? Do we have a list?
I know we didn't say where X goes yet.
Yeah. Where does X go?
And I would put it above Manhattan and have it stop there.
Yeah, I think I would rather watch Manhattan and laugh than watch this and cry.
Okay. I would go above Manhattan.
All right.
I'd probably go above New Blood, quite honestly. But
Since I didn't actually watch it, I feel bad.
okay.
You don't need
moving
to
it
do
up,
not feel bad. Don't.
too high. So, but I can't imagine it being worse than Manhattan. So I'll put it above that and let it stop there.
Okay. So that's a list.
There you have it.
All right.
We got a list, people. A
So
list has been made.
Scott, can Scott read them off? Did you not want to?
Get on there.
Oh, it's on the screen. Okay,
Oh,
that's true.
okay. So you can see it, so we do not need to read it off.
All right, so part one, I can see. So
Read it
number
for the
one,
pod people.
then yeah, for the pod people. Number one, the final chapter. So Friday, part 4. Number 2 was part 1, Friday the 13th, the original. Coming at number 3 was part 2, Sackhead, made it number 3. That's pretty good considering.
Keep it alive.
Number 4 position is Jason Lives, which is part 6. And number 5 is part 3. In position 6, Jason Goes to Hell. Really? Wow, how high up it made it. Okay.
Good for you, Jason.
The self-aware Jason Goes to Hell, part 6. In the 7th position is Friday the 13th, part 7, The New Blood. In part 8 is part 5, A New Beginning. And then number 9 is Jason 10, Jason X. And then finally coming in dead last, Jason Takes Manhattan. Right where it should be, if you ask me, in the gutter.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'd rather laugh. I'd rather laugh than cry.
Laugh than cry? Okay.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. There you have it, people. Friday the 13th. Just like Charles Dickens, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I wrote a few notes after everything, like, my thoughts just on the series.
Final
Yep.
thoughts. Go for it. I kind of said mine.
So one of them had already been brought up, but I wrote Jason is Nightcrawler from X-Men because he can teleport basically and be wherever he fucking needs to be. You can be running and he can be walking and he's still gonna be, right next to you at some point.
Yep.
Second thought. Why do the bodies that he puts up above just suddenly fall right when the final person is right there?
It's Rube Goldberg. Yeah, device.
It's like staying there. Person gets there. Up now, the body's gonna fall and try to scare him.
Yeah,
I found that very odd. Lastly, Crystal Lake Police Department, Sheriff's Department has got to be the worst fucking police and sheriff's departments.
Yeah, nobody wants that job. Nobody wants that job.
I mean, they are awful.
Why are people still living in the town? Why are people still living there?
That's a good question. Why are they still there?
Why are they still there? Doesn't make sense.
Like, how is there even a town left?
Everyone's dead. You live there,
right.
you die. You visit, you die.
It's got a death curse. So, hey, real quick, can we give it up, though? I think one of the best things about the early films, at least, is the score. Frank Mancuso, sorry, Harry Manfredini, I think did a pretty damn good job with the score.
There's some good
Absolutely.
score.
Yeah.
I think there's some really cool stuff in there for sure.
Agreed.
And yeah, I mean, otherwise, the one thing I can say that annoyed me through a big portion of this series was how many times the camera would be behind someone in the woods and take forever to get up to them for the kill. Like it was, it's kind of like that whole the person is going to take a pee, the person is in their tent, the person is bending over to look at whatever, and then the camera's behind them slowly going, it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
There's also plenty of times where people could have moved and not died, but they chose to stay there and wait for their death to slowly approach them.
Like in The Omen,
like in The Omen.
Like in The Omen.
In The Omen.
But also, Jason goes clomping around like clomp, 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 and you hear him.
And then
you can
hear him coming.
He's in the forest on leaves, and like you said, Neil, they're bent over looking for something and have no idea that he's walking right up to him.
You would at least think it's a fucking bear. Like, I mean, yeah,
it's true. But anyway. Like I said, the Friday fatigue, when you watch all these films so close together, they do kind of become a little cumbersome.
It's a little brutal.
But hey, but for anyone who loves these films, Sandra, you should quickly go buy that 16-disc set that Shout Factory just put out. Because
Oh, why the hell not? Buy it. Yes.
Buy it. It's got all kinds of
Yeah.
films, 4K scans of the original negatives, a bunch of extras, everything else to it. It's got a lot of new behind the scenes stuff in there. So if anyone wants to get it, it's gonna be in an affiliate link below tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So go check it out. Because
For sure.
it'll help pay for our therapy sessions. So it'll all be good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly.
All right. What do you guys think? Wrap it?
Well,
Yeah.
I think we've made people unhappy with our list, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I got outvoted left, right, and center. It's a bummer for me. It's a
okay.
Friday the 13th bummer.
I feel left out also, so it's okay. Or like I didn't, so we're walking away unhappy, which means it's a fair list.
Yeah, I guess so. Like I said, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's so much. There's so much in this franchise. There's so much.
All right. I
Yeah.
guess that's it, right? Should we roll credits?
Let's go.
We did it.
All right. Let's go home.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Love you.
Hey.
Mark in Pismo, Mark in Washington, Upjoy, Mindy, Kenneth, Laura,
Hi,
Rob. I think that might be about it.
People who joined later. People who watched later.
Todd, I say Todd. Hi, Todd.
You
Doc
said
with
Ron.
Doc. Sorry, Doc. Okay.